You're probably wondering what I'm doing on top of my brand new 70 plus $1,000 pickup truck, and why I'm removing this marker light here. Well, it's a long story. You're probably also wondering why it's completely dirty when it should have been in the garage the whole time. Well, I tell you what, if I had a guitar out here, I'd write a ballad about my unfortunate situation so that future generations thinking about buying a Dodge or Ram pickup truck will second guess their inclination and go with something else. So it all started about, I want to say, back in July. Of course, those of you following the channel know we've got two Dodge vehicles, a Jeep and a Ram Power Wagon. We've had a few problems with the Jeep in the past with the stabilization system. When we first got it, we bought it in Florida, we had to take it into the dealer down there because the stabilization system stopped working. Well, they gave us a loaner car. They actually had to call the factory and they had to consult with them on it because it was apparently a pretty complicated thing. So it took them about, I think it took them about 4 or 5 days. They got it fixed. They profusely apologized, covered the rental car, even went through and did a full inspection of the truck, pulled off one of the pieces of trim, put a new one on. They weren't happy with how it was painted because it's like a pearl clear coat. So they called us up and they said they're just not happy with how it turned out. So they were going to order a new one in, and it's going to take them 2 days to get it painted again. So they did that, and they called us in, and of course apologized like way too much. I mean, and made sure we were happy with everything, and the service was spectacular on it. So we had a Ram van before that, and kind of the same thing. We took it to the same dealer. They always gave us exceptional service. And so we bought this. I had looked at buying a Toyota and looked at a Chevy and a GMC and just decided on this because of the good service that we had gotten in the past. So about in July we took the Jeep in because the stabilization system went out again, and it was giving us all kinds of errors. And so I called like a month and a half in advance to make an appointment, and because they recommended we didn't drive it. And so a month and a half later I took it in, and they said, well, they look at it, give us a call. Weeks went by, never heard anything. This was a local Dodge dealer. Month went by, never heard anything. Called them, no return call. Month and a half, finally we started calling them, and they said, well, geez, the part's been on back order, so we haven't been able to fix it. And I thought, well, it's nice of them to call and let us know, of course. But so finally we called up Dodge, and Dodge, it took them about a week. Apparently what had happened was the dealer had changed hands. So the vehicle was parked in their lot and forgotten about for 2 months. The part was on back order, but they didn't do anything to try and get it. Once we contacted Dodge, they profusely apologized, and it took them about a week to find the part. So they got the part, and at that point we were about ready to just trade it off. We said, well, this has apparently been a problem that's been happening for quite some time, and we're kind of tired of dealing with it. We're tired of being without a car for 2 months. Maybe we'll just trade it off for another Dodge product. And they said, well, yeah, we'd be happy to help you out with that. We can give you a 5% discount on any new Dodge vehicle if you want to trade your vehicle off. So I said, well, I can negotiate 5%. And so we decided not to do that. So we finally, a little over 2 months later, we finally got the Jeep back. And I said, okay, well, we bought this truck almost a year ago. And we've driven it about 5,000 miles. And ever since we bought it, the satellite radio didn't work. It would work on and off. Anytime you went into a area that wasn't in a major city or a wide open area, it would cut out. So we've had satellite radio on probably 4 or 5 different vehicles, and none of them ever cut out before. So this one was constantly doing it. And I said, well, it's no big deal. We're not going to use it that much for right now. So when we go on a road trip, we'll go in and get it fixed. Well, I've also got this recall that they've been hounding me on. They've been sending an email to me like once a week for the past 2 months to fix the tailgate. Apparently, the tailgate can drop open at any time. Which I said, well, it's no big deal. I'm not hauling anything back there anyway right now. So finally, we're scheduled on a road trip here in a few days, a couple days here. So I called them to get an appointment to fix the satellite radio. The parking sensor in front was also going in and out. This marker light on top kept popping out. There's a tab broken off on it. And then the satellite radio, plus I needed an oil change. So I looked online for an oil change with them, with a different Dodge dealer. I didn't take it to the one that forgot about us. I decided to go with a different one that was like an hour away. So the oil change online was $200. So I said, well, forget that. I'll just do it myself or get it done somewhere else. And so I made an appointment. The appointment was about a month away. So I had to call a month in advance to do all this. Scheduled it. Went in there to drop it off. And told the girl, I said, no, the satellite radio doesn't work. It's going to work in and out, so you'll have to drive it, to a more secluded area where there's some trees around and stuff to not get it to work. And she said, okay, no problem. And I said, the front parking sensor also is working on and off. And so she made me sign a waiver that said, they can do an inspection. If there's any damage to it, I'd be responsible for that. Of course, there's not a scratch on the truck. The front is about as clean and damage-free as you can get. I don't think there's even a bug mark on it. So I said, that's fine, whatever, I don't care. And then I asked her how much for an oil change. And she him-hawed around for a while, and she said, well, since it's under warranty yet, we'll do you an oil change for like $120. I'm like, okay, fine. So I said, well, just drop it off and then give us a call when it's done. She said, well, it's probably going to take about 48 hours. I said, okay, that's fine. That's better than the last time. It's better than 2 months. So we dropped it off, and we waited. And this was a week ago. Didn't hear anything. So that was last Wednesday. So Monday we called them. We said, well, what's going on with the truck? Well, didn't get a call back. So called again, left a voicemail, and got a call back that said, call us back. So Tuesday, we finally got a hold of them, and they said, well, we couldn't find anything wrong with the satellite radio. We couldn't find anything wrong with the park sensor. We got everything else done except we're waiting on the part for the marker light. So I said, well, maybe we'll pick it up on Thursday. And then, of course, we got some time on Tuesday, so I said, let's just shoot over there and pick this up. Give them a call quick, say, well, don't worry about the marker light. You can send it to us when you get it or whatever. We'll get it done at a later date. but we want to make sure we have it for our trip here. And we got some time to pick it up. So we went and we're driving to pick it up, and Angie called and said, well, we're going to pick it up right now since we got time. And they said, oh, well, we don't have the marker light in, or we don't have the recall done. And it kept going like that. And I said, well, no problem. We're on the way up there. We're like a half hour away, so we'll just pick it up and we'll bring it in some other time to do that. And then get somebody else on the phone, and they said, well, we don't have the oil change done either. But if you give us 15 minutes, and we just got the marker light in, if you give us 15 minutes, we'll get all that taken care of, and the recall and everything. I said, there's no way they're going to do it in 15 minutes. I said, we're going to be up there in 15 minutes. Do what you can. If you have it done, fine. If not, we're going to just pick it up and take it. Oh, well. So we get up there, and nothing was done. Didn't even attempt to. It was sitting in the parking lot at the same place that we dropped it off. And so I really don't think they did anything. I don't think they even looked at the satellite radar. I don't think they looked at the front sensor. It had, I didn't record the mileage, which I shouldn't have. Well, I should have, because I would have been able to tell. So we pick it up. It's just covered in dirt. I brought it up perfectly clean, and it's covered in dirt. It's covered in, looks like overspray. There's like a film of like paint or something over the entire truck. And I just waxed, I just buffed it out. And so if you can hear that, it feels like, the whole truck feels like sandpaper. And you can kind of see it on the windows. So I just noticed that today, actually right now as we're out here. So no real apology, no nothing. Just gave us a truck there. Well, if you want to bring it back, we'll see if we can take care of it for you. And that was it. Sent us down the road. So I went down, bought the oil. By the time I drove around to 4 different auto parts stores to get the oil, because they were all out of it, I spent about $100 in parts and mileage driving around to get the oil to change it out here when it's like 40 degrees in the cold. And I'm going to fix the marker light. And then I'm going to go on my road trip here, which we got about 10 hours, and probably go trade it off for a Toyota, which I should have done in the first place. And so this will be, and I might trade the Jeep off too while I'm at it, because I don't want a vehicle that, the reason we buy a new vehicle, of course, is so that we have a vehicle that's reliable, that we don't have to take to the dealer and leave it there for months, or don't have to have it in for repair. Otherwise, we just buy a used vehicle, save all the money, and not have to worry about it. But since Dodge is not affording us that luxury, we're going to go check out Toyotas. And I've always owned Toyotas my whole life, so they've always been reliable. I've never had to have any of them. I think I've had probably 7 or 8 Toyotas or more in my life, and I've never had to return one to the dealership for anything. So, and anytime I went in for service, it was, it was done well. It was done right away. So I guess they're kind of hard to find right now, but I guess we're gonna do that, and then hopefully have something reliable. But here's a little update on my Dodge Ram situation. So we're on this marker light here. That's pretty simple thing. What the problem was is this front area here was bent down, and it wasn't catching the little tab up there. So the dealer, in their infinite wisdom, decided they were just going to order a new marker light, which wouldn't have fixed the problem. And all I did was take a little screwdriver and pop that up a little bit. Oops, bend that back up a little bit. And then put this back in, slide it into place, just like that. Clicks right in there. Put the screw back in with one of these handy dandy little Torx tools that I just happen to have for things like this. And we are done. That fix took me 2 minutes. It took me longer to get the camera out, actually. 2 minutes. Why it takes them a week, I don't know. I know all you keyboard warriors out there are going to say, well, you know, you're paying these guys for their time. Well, no, I'm not. For a vehicle that costs $70,000 and they provide a warranty, they should either say, you know what, we're not going to warranty, or we're just going to warranty if we feel like it, or they should warranty it. There's no reason why a 2-minute fix. I mean, they could have taken that in there. A mechanic could have looked at it within 5 minutes, diagnosed it, and got us out of there, and it would have been done. And they would have had a happy customer walking away. But simple things like this, it's mind-boggling that they just can't. If it were my business, that's what I would have done. I would have had the guy in. I would have said, when the guy brought it in, I would have said, you know what? That doesn't sound like that big of a deal. Let me just take a look at it quick, see if we can get you in and get you out of here. And it would have been done. But I guess that's what happens. So I'm going to carry on with the oil change now. We'll see how long it takes me. Okay, time for the oil change. This has got to be some big complicated thing here, I would assume, since it took them a week and still couldn't do it. So we got the oil pan here. Now let's see. There's the oil drain. We'll get here at a little different angle. I'm going to put this down right here so everybody can get a good view. There we go. All right. So, position this about right here. Let's see. Maybe I'll roll up my sleeve a little bit so I don't get oil all over the place. Oh, all right. Yeah. We'll just see how complicated this is. All right. Here it comes. Here it comes. It's going to be a tough one. All right. 1 week. Oh, this was tough. This was tough. And we'll put that right here. Drain plug. Yeah. There it is. Takes a normal mechanic a week. Takes me 1 minute. Either I'm really good or something's going on here. Look at that oil flow. It's not even that dirty, actually. All right, so, and we just grabbed the oil filter, which is right down over here. And it actually took me longer to find the oil filter than it did to... It actually took me longer to get the tools out than it did to do the oil change. Maybe home repair isn't my best attribute. Maybe I should go into being a vehicle mechanic. Makes you wonder.